give my 2 cents to the Ebukasongs saga, and I hope I can make this as brief as possible in bullet points. Number one, it seems the young man is missing the point altogether, as well as a lot of comments who are indirectly supporting him. And that is that the issue is not him inviting this comedian or TikToker and doing whatever he wants to do, whether to reach out to him, to preach to him, or to even give him opportunity to be part of his worship, event. That's not the point. The point is allowing that boy to go ahead and mock the sacred things, giving him the mic to catch cruise, giving him the mic to have fun, giving him the mic to make jests, whether intentionally or unintentionally, giving him the mic to mimic tongues, to mimic prophecy. That is definitely crossing the line, and it should not be swept under the carpet. It should not be excused in any way by a supposed worship minister. No, that is totally inexcusable. When you saw the boy crossing that line, you should have cautioned him and corrected him. As a matter of fact, that kind of content should not have even gone to the air, should not have come online. So that's 2 points in one. The fact that this boy was being allowed to mock the sacred things. That is the real point, which a lot of people are, very upset about, including me. Nobody is saying you shouldn't go and invite somebody and try to preach to him and all that. Absolutely feel free to do that. We are all called to reach out to the lost. But to now give the microphone to the lost, no, that's a no-no. And this is similar to, pastors who will, a big man, a politician, and so on, comes to your church and you are quick to give him microphone. No, Jesus never gave microphone to the prostitutes and to the sinners. He never did he. Of course, he reached out to them. They came to him, but he did not in any way acknowledge them and say, okay, now you have the platform. No, sir. That's crossing the line. That's desecrating the holy things. All right. So that is point one. And then, of course, the part of that, even if you do something like that, must it come to social media? We must discipline ourselves. Not everything must come online. Because Jesus said that whatever your right hand is doing, you don't make the other one know. So it doesn't only have to do with when you give. Okay? There are certain spiritual activities that you do that you don't need to broadcast it. Okay? And that is also part of what he did when he was defending himself. Later on, I'll come back there. Okay? So that is point one. It is totally unacceptable and nobody should dismiss it as a trivial thing. It's totally unacceptable that that young man will be tolerated, will be allowed to mock the things of the spirit. No, it is not permitted. In the other religion, they will never permit anything like that. Please, gospel ministers, especially gospel artists, musicians, gospel musicians, that gate from the gates that outsiders use to infiltrate the ranks of the body. It's you people that leave that gate open most of the time. And what happened there is a classic example, which I believe that believers who have decried, who have spoken against it, are very much right, and it cannot be overemphasized. We cannot overflog it. Okay, those who are trying to whip up sentiments are simply trivializing the gravity of the matter. Okay, so that is one. Um, then, of course, Brother Kesiena went ahead, and of course, many people have spoken against it, but I think it's Kesiena's video that became the big one, so to speak. And of course, this is not the first time he will be coming at both Ebuka and Peller, the boy. This is not the first time. So the interesting thing, I'll come back there, but the interesting thing for me, which I find again quite appalling, is the audacity that Ebuka has to respond. I'm saying, where did you learn your own from? Where? Where did you learn your own from? That, I mean, is it in the age? Please give respect to those who are in the ministry, who are laboring for God, who hold the office. Even if he, quote and unquote, unfairly criticizes you, must you play tit for tat? Must you now also go look for a pulpit and use that as an opportunity to say back your own? That is a totally no-no. And that shows the level of your discipleship. You see, it shows your level of discipleship, young man. It's a no-no. It's certainly a no-no. It shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened. That response, firing back and saying all the things you said, should not have happened. And in your own best interest, just apologize. Apologize and zip your mouth. Okay? Go into worship, lead God's people into do what you are anointed to do, and leave all these talks. All right. That is important. That is important. In fact, if necessary, let this guy be quarantined for a while, for the safety of whatever the Lord wants to use him to do in the days ahead. That's an important point. Now, finally, to Brother Kesiena himself, I think you have become, it has become your style to speak on trending matters, so to speak, and to comment on it from the pulpit in such a way as to almost write off the individuals as though they already have a corrupted heart. They have an impure motive. Their objective is to pollute the body. There is a way you say those things that is the impression you are creating. Okay? You are saying it as an example of people who have been corrupted, people who have been polluted, and how Satan, comes in to bring defilement to the body using those people. You see, that's a form of judgment. That's a form of, let us be candid. Let us say it as it is, brother. It's a form of judgment. People can make mistakes. I believe in this particular case, Ebuka made a mistake. He did not, he had a good intention when he called this guy. Okay? But he did not know that this guy will cross that line. So when he crossed that line and Ebuka could not caution him, that was where he had a problem. That is where it should be corrected. All right? And that correction should not be done in such a way as to cast aspersion on the person of Ebuka, to cast an aspersion on his intention, and to use him, so to speak, as an example of those who bring corruption and defilement into the body. That would be totally unfair. I must be candid. That would be totally unfair. That is, and brother Kesiena, that is what you inadvertently do many of the times when you make references to certain individuals and all of that. And the persons involved, they may be wondering, I mean, even if I made a mistake, must I become an object of preaching? I must be candid. Nobody will like it. It's just like a man or a woman goes to her pastor and shares situation with the family, their challenges and all that, only for pastor on the next day, the next day or the next service, he now begins to use the story that nobody will like it, sir. Nobody will like it. So we have to consider what is ethical in this respect. Is it ethical to just quickly use people's issues as a preaching point? Is it ethical? Is it ethical? Please, let's consider it. And this is not just to Brother Kesiena. It cuts across board to many ministers who are fond of doing that. We need to have a rethink. We need to cross-examine ourselves. We need to ask ourselves, how ethical is that? Again, let me, bring it out again for the sake of emphasis. My point is, when somebody, does something and then you isolate it, you bring it out, and then you begin to comment on it publicly in such a way as to give the impression that that person did it on purpose, that that person is because he has a corrupted heart. Satan has hijacked him and is now inadvertently working for Satan and using it to now warn fellow brethren that don't be like that person. No, I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair, and we can judge it. How ethical is that? It's something for us to think about. So anyway, that would be my my comments, my 2 cents on the matter. May the Lord bless his ecclesia and cause his kingdom to advance forcefully in our generation. God